Greetings, New Life family. This is Pastor Jared. I rejoiced in the Lord greatly. That's Philippians 4:10. That's Paul talking about a time of thanksgiving. But of course, for many of us, we're thinking about, is there going to be Thanksgiving this year? I saw somebody who posted on their social media, Thanksgiving is canceled. Canceled. Maybe that's how a lot of us really are thinking about Thanksgiving this year. Many of us won't have as many people around the table. Maybe we won't have anybody around the table. Maybe we'll have a few less chairs that are filled. I know for our family, we just canceled our Thanksgiving Day plans to go home. And so in many ways, it feels like Thanksgiving is canceled because what do you do at Thanksgiving? You give thanks for being around family, and many of us can't do that. You give thanks for the new blessings of the year, and some of us are counting what we've lost. Is Thanksgiving canceled? Well, I think a lot of people forget that Paul wrote Philippians 4:10, I rejoiced in the Lord greatly, in prison. He wrote that in prison. He wrote that after he had been through so many things that were things that may have broken us. This is also the passage in which he says, I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. Paul discovered the secret to giving thanks was not having a bunch of blessings and naming them up one by one, earthly things that he could say, I'm better off this year than I was last year. He learned that giving thanks was a matter of being content. He goes on to say, I know how to be brought low and how to abound in any and every circumstance. I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Many of us memorize that passage. Did you realize that passage actually, I can do all things through him who strengthens me, wasn't about Paul winning a sporting event. It wasn't about him getting a job promotion. It was about him learning the secret to contentment. You know what the secret to contentment was not for Paul? It was not him just being quiet, right? It's not an outward quietness. Psalm 32:3 says, for when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. Just because you're outwardly quiet doesn't mean that you're inwardly content or at peace. How do we have an inward contentment and peace? That's what the psalmist also says is the problem. Psalm 42:5, why are you cast down, O my soul? Why are you in turmoil within me? The problem is turmoil within, not necessarily turmoil outwardly. In other words, the secret to contentment is not the British stiff upper lip, right? You just kind of take it all in stride and you just are quiet about it and suffer in quiet. Now, if you know anything about the Psalms and have learned anything about the Psalms, you realize that it is better to be honest and make your complaint to God rather than just to be in turmoil in your soul. How is our soul at peace? Well, it's not through outward circumstances. It's not through what's going on around us. It's not from us being completely happy with everything politically and in our family and going on within our career. In fact, Habakkuk, who was a prophet who made his complaint known to God and was told there's famine, there's war that's coming. He said this, though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls. All of that was preparation to live the next year. And if all of that is gone, if it seems in earthly speaking there is no hope for the next year, for the crop, for us to even have food, the next verse he says, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. One thing that the world couldn't take away was Habakkuk's Savior, the one who saved him and the salvation that he gave him. He says, God, the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me to tread on high places. In Israel, you may find these deer and then also goats that will go along a steep cliff and be able to put their feet one in front of another and actually escape lions and other predators. And it's interesting to watch as the predators are down wanting that deer or goat, and the other being safe because they can put their feet on high places. That's what Habakkuk said. I can make it my way through this. All of these circumstances, even if they do touch me, they can't touch the fact that God has saved me. Faith, then, is trusting. It is resting. There may be a long journey ahead. We may not like the path that we're on. It may be dark. We don't know what's coming next. We know just the step in front of us. And yet our contentment on that journey is not the path we're on. It's the hand that we hold. Certainly, if this year teaches us anything, I think it may be a worthy lesson to see Thanksgiving isn't about just counting up your blessings one by one, counting your earthly riches. No, Thanksgiving is a time for us to give thanks for the hand that we hold, no matter the circumstances, no matter if the fig tree has fruit or not, no matter if we have 20 people around the table or 5, just ourselves. We do know this. We know the God of our salvation, the one who is with us in the midst of all of this, and that is something to be thankful for. We can give thanks. And no matter the circumstances, we have learned to be content and to rejoice greatly. Why? Because I can do all things. I can walk through all of these things. I can suffer all of these things is what I can do meant. I can suffer all of these things and make it through to the other side with peace in my soul because the Prince of Peace made peace between the Father and I, and he strengthens me along the journey. I pray that's your discovery this Thanksgiving. When you're thinking of the things to count up, the blessings to count, you count the blessing merely of the God who is the one who saved you, the God of my salvation. I pray this finds you well, and I pray that you would prepare, even if it's not with a big turkey, even if it's not for having people over. I pray that you would prepare for this Thanksgiving season and have this to give thanks for. God bless.